Unit 3. Many people, many backgrounds. Unit 3. Session A. Activity 10.
Fen, men, pen. Of, the. Fern, bird, world. Men of the world. A circus elephant. A birthday present. An extra apartment. A purple pen.
Unit 3. Session A. Activity 13.
I was just wondering, I'm going to the opera on Saturday. Would you like to join me? Are you busy on Sunday? Oh dear. What about Tuesday evening? Well, are you doing anything on Thursday? I suppose you're busy on Friday too. Oh well, never mind. I'll call you next week.
Unit 3. Session A. Activity 15.
In multiracial Europe, there will be more black people in positions of power, working in the fields of medicine, law, education, and politics. Many educated members of the community from minority groups will move away from the areas where they lived and went to school. They will become more mobile, and in general there will be less overcrowding in the big cities because of this. More black people will be able to afford to live in the suburbs outside the big cities, sharing the same facilities as middle-class white people. People will have a better sense of cultural awareness, but there will be a greater lack of unity in multiracial Europe. Some communities will still not be ready to accept minority groups, and in those areas there will be problems with inadequate housing and a low standard of living. There will be a higher number of unemployed, and this will lead to racial disturbances. We will see more evidence of different religious groups, and this will also lead to conflict in some communities. In schools, children from ethnic minority groups will have fewer language problems, and they will achieve better academic results.
Unit 3. Session B. Activity 12B. 1.
It's something that's used for working out sums.
2.
It's small, it's made of metal, and it's used for holding pieces of paper together.
3.
It looks like a tube, and it contains a type of makeup that women put on their lips.
4. It's a sort of machine. It's like a bicycle, and people use it when they're exercising. Unit 3. Session B. Activity 14.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Your Call. I'm Mike Boss. Last week in Reigate, police were called to deal with a battle in the High Street. A group of young men were drunk and noisy in an Indian restaurant, and the manager asked them to leave. They refused and began to beat him and to break up his restaurant. In no time, about 20 young Asian men came through the restaurant and began to attack the white people. The fight moved into the street, and a number of cars were damaged. 2 policemen and 5 youths were injured. The others were arrested and taken to Hawley Police Station. What did you see? What do you think of racial violence in Reigate? Call me now on 777-2213. I'm waiting for your call. And our first caller is on the line. What's your name, please? You sound Spanish. Where are you from in Spain? Great. And have you ever experienced problems like this in Spain? I see. Now, tell me, what did you see? Were you in the restaurant? And was anybody injured? How many people were arrested? Was there any damage? Who do you think was to blame? And finally, what do you think should be done about them? Thank you very much. Now, on to our next caller.
Unit 3. Consolidation. Activity 2.
Now, tell me, which Asian countries do you have on your list? Good. Can you tell me the figures for the Indian, Bangladeshi and Pakistani communities? What about the West Indian community? The Jamaicans, for example? Sorry, did you say 114,000? 142,000, right. Now, which African countries do you have on your list? Okay. Can you give me the figures for the Kenyans and Ugandans? Are there any Northern European countries on your list? Is the French group larger or smaller than the German group? Where does the biggest group of immigrants come from? And how many are there? That's interesting. Do you have any figures for Northern Ireland? Now, according to my information, there's an American community of 131,000 and an Australian community of 72,000. Is that right? That's great, thank you. You've been really helpful. If I use these figures in my letter to the newspaper, I'll send you a copy.